Hey guys, Steve here. This is an update about the song that I'm currently working on, Wearing Out My Tires on I-70. In the last video, I talked about the lyrics, and I'll post a link to that video in this post. When it comes to the music, I don't really have a great story about how I wrote the music for this. In fact, I don't have much of a recollection of how that happened. I know I sat on the lyrics for over a year and then eventually wrote some music, and I play it live all the time. I just don't have a really good story about how that music came to be. So what I thought I'd talk about instead is a problem that I have when I'm recording here in the studio, a problem that this song is a really good example of. It is a single problem, but it is threefold. So first of all, I collect musical instruments. I always have. My mother always bought me some kind of musical instrument for every Christmas and every birthday. All my friends knew this, so occasionally, I had a friend that visited Africa and came back with an mbira for me, So I've ended up with this collection of cheap but varied and diverse instruments. And when I'm recording a song, it's like a kid in a candy shop. I just want to put all of these instruments in the song. I'll be recording a song and I'm like, maybe I should put the baritone ukulele or a tenor banjo or a hand drum or something in the song. And as a result, the song can get a little busy. You can't really blame me. I mean, some of this stuff is really, really fun. I mean, I have one of these. You gotta put that in every song, right? And I'm the only guy who owns one of these that makes a cricket noise. So yeah, it's just, there's too much. It's an embarrassment of riches, and I just want to put all of these in every song. And so I'll just keep adding and adding and adding. The song gets a little bit busy. The second facet of my problem is I really enjoy the recording process, and you have to understand, like for this song, when I was playing the bass line, it has an electric bass on it. That's the only time in my entire life that I'm going to play the bass part for this song. Because when I play it live, it's going to be on an acoustic guitar. And if for some reason I happen to play it with a band, which is very, very rare, there's going to be someone else playing the bass, right? So this is my only opportunity to be the bass player for this song, and I really enjoy it. And so I start doing take after take after take after take. I can spend days on a part, even though I got the take I needed early on. At some point, I put down a bass line and I have to tell myself, that's as good as it's going to get. You're not going to play bass any better than that. But I want to keep playing the bass, so I'll just keep doing another take and another take and another take and another take, and the time adds up. The third facet of my problem comes from that, and that is as I'm doing more and more and more takes, the bass line gets more and more and more complicated because I am enjoying myself, and it ends up being a solo. So I can end up with a song that's like 20 instruments all soloing at the same time, and it can just be very, very busy. This song is no exception to that. I kind of got to the point where I had the orchestration I needed. It's a fairly simple song. I had drums, bass, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, and vocals. Pretty straightforward. Then I'm like eyeing up the dobro. Maybe I should put a dobro. Ooh, maybe I should put a harmonica in there. Maybe it's time for me to break out the melodiphone and put that in there. So it started going down that path. And as I'm playing the bass, it has a little bit of a groovy bass line, which was unexpected for me, but I really started getting into it, and the bass line basically became a solo. So I had an electric guitar soloing with a bass soloing, and it was too much. So my strategy is this. I have a group of friends in Belgium. They're fellow musicians who, whenever I finish songs, I tend to send those songs to them just to get feedback and share with them. And one of the musicians in particular, Nico, his last name is Van Dam, Muscles from Brussels. He doesn't live in Brussels, but at any rate, Nico really enjoys songs that are a little more minimal and stripped down. He really likes Frank Zappa, and I think he wants to hear the core of the song. I think all of the production work is a little distracting for him. That's his preference. And so when I send songs, I'll be like, hey, take a look at this song. It sounds like, the Beach Boys playing along with the Beatles and Jellyfish on top of it. Check out Jellyfish if you want to hear a band who is very good at big production work. But anyway, and the feedback I'll get from Nico is usually like, yeah, that song's pretty good. Yeah, there's a lot going on there, Steve, a lot of production. But what I really liked was this song you did over here where you're just kind of strumming your guitar and singing. And I'm usually like, well, I didn't even think I was going to put that on the album. I just threw it on at the last minute, but he gravitates towards those songs, sometimes lo-fi songs, definitely songs that are more simple in their orchestration. So as I'm sitting here recording, wearing out my tires on I-70, and it's getting busier and busier and busier, the astral projection of Nico appeared to me in my studio. And he said to me, Steve, less is more. Of course, he speaks Dutch, so I had no idea what he was saying, and I just kept right on my merry way. And so he finally, the projection of Nico gave me the back it off, cut it out, Steve. And so I did develop a strategy. So my strategy is this, and this is how I do get through these songs. At some point, I've got the part that I need. Let's say it's an electric guitar part, but I want to keep playing. I save the part that really is what I call my fallback. This is the guitar part that'll work. Worst case scenario, that's what I'm going to put on. Then I allow myself to play around. I go for it, I play, I spend all day just jamming along with this thing and have wonderful fun. And then at some point, I kind of say, okay, playtime is over. I need to actually put down a guitar part that serves the song, not just allows me to have fun. And if I've learned anything during that playing around, I will record it again, back it way off, more to what my fallback was, maybe add a couple things in that I've learned, or I'll just drop back to that fallback and say that's, everything else was just me having fun. And I've learned not to be afraid to drop tracks. So sometimes I listen to something and say, this is actually better if I drop that, gourd shaker or, mandolin or whatever it is I put in there. I kind of play around with the orchestration, trying to get things down to something that really makes for a good song. I guess what I'm saying is my strategy is whenever I find myself going down this path, I just ask myself, what would Nico do? All right, well, that's the story of one of the problems that I run into when I'm recording in my studio and there is no producer to tell me to cut it out. So I think what I'm going to do is the song is recorded, it's mixed, it isn't mastered, but I have a pretty good version of it. I think what I'm going to do with these songs is create music videos with them so that I can share the actual songs with you. So I'm going to go dig up some old footage. I have probably 10 years of footage of me driving across the prairie because I've done a lot of it and I do a lot of video projects when I travel. And I used to drive to Tulsa every year for like 10 years. So I think I have a ton of footage of me driving across the prairie and just travels in general. And maybe I'll create a video out of that so that there's something you can see that allows you to hear where I'm at with the song. At any rate, thanks for listening. Hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you next time.